Let's go next to Justin from New York. Justin, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, can you hear me? Or it's
Yes, I can.
okay. Hey, David, how are you? First time caller, long time listener.
Thank you.
No problem. I have a question though. Because I always ask is that I have because I have like friends that are anti-mask and anti-vax and everything. I also have friends that are pro-vaccination. But what I always ask everybody to get a good answer for is that what's the end goal? Like, because if you're not gonna get the vaccination, you're probably gonna get COVID. So is your end goal just to get COVID and survive,
Yeah.
gamble with that?
Yeah, that's it. That's basically their view. I mean, have you asked them? What do they say when you ask them?
They say literally they say like, oh, I have an immune system, or oh, I'm scared of the shot. And like, like, I got the Johnson one, and like that, it hurt, yeah. But the thing is, though, it's just something you like. I just try to say like, I don't know if you have any I don't want to censor quit being a B word about it and just take it.
Yeah, when people, I have a question. When you say that you got the vaccine and it hurt, are you talking about the moment they inject you, it hurts, like the little prick from the needle hurts, or are you talking about like later you had arm pain or whatever?
Yeah, both. Like the moment it's a shock, but you're fine. But then after that, I had arm pain and I had two fevers, but after the vaccination, but after that done day, I was just fine. I was just like my arm was just sore for like a
Yeah,
week or so.
like I get that there's a fear of needles, and that's a specific thing. But when people say getting the shot hurts, I mean, it's literally 1 second. They put the shot in, is maybe it's 3 seconds. That part I don't get. Like, I get the fear of needles that some people have. That's a widely known thing. I get not wanting to feel sick for a few hours or a day or two or whatever flu like. But the actual pain of the shot, I don't get because it's under 5 seconds. It's that part is strange
Yeah,
to me that would make someone not get vaccinated.
yeah. And not only that, but my second question is that you have I think you probably have this question asked many times. That I don't want to repeat it, but you'll have Republicans who are elected Republicans who are against the vaccine mandate or
Yeah.
against any measures to really even mask mandate measures to mitigate the spread of the virus. Do you think it would be a good political strategy for the Democrats to say these people like Ron DeSantis are pro COVID? They're 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 against every measure to mitigate COVID, so they're pro COVID. They want
Yeah.
COVID to win.
We've talked about that a little bit before. I mean, maybe, it's really a rhetorical trick to say that some of these people are pro COVID. I don't think it'll really catch on very much, but sometimes I'll say it. It's like some of these people are some of the biggest supporters of the virus that I've ever seen. I don't know that it's going to be any big kind of game changer in terms of getting people to take things seriously, but you're right. It's almost like, are they trying to spread the virus via their policy? But I don't think it'll make a big difference to adopt that as a rhetorical trick.
All right, but that's pretty much all I have to say today.
All right.
Thank you
I
for the
appreciate the
call.
call. Thank you so much. Great to hear from you. Some great calls this week. Why don't we go next to Christian from California? Christian, you're on the air.
Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I was wondering, with the big kerfuffle made this week from Joe Manchin coming out and saying he will not vote for the 3.5 trillion infrastructure bill,
Yeah.
do you think Manchin overall is sort of bad optics for Senate Democrats?
Well, yeah. I mean, so the complicated thing is of course he is. But remember that almost certainly if Manchin is replaced in Virginia, it's with a Republican. So he does vote with Democrats on a lot of things. And it gets us back to this age-old question of, okay, you primary him and he loses, but then you almost certainly end up with a Republican. So, yeah, I can't stand the guy. We predicted he was all of a sudden going to be front and center in a lot of these policy decisions. But then you also have to understand the practicality of West Virginia and who's likely to replace Manchin. And it's most likely going to be a Republican who supports what Democrats want to do even less. The solution is less about remove Manchin because that probably means a Republican replaces him. It's we've got to win more seats back in other states.
And also in hand with that, I think we should, work on moving, Manchin's constituents to the left so that,
Absolutely.
he's forced to vote in a way that, reflects the will of them.
And also, I would say, let's try to figure out a way for there to be political consequences for Manchin from being obstinate.
Do you think, because I do tend to agree with you that if you ran a progressive type like AOC candidate in West Virginia, that seat would probably just go to a Republican.
Right.
But I mean, do you think that has more to do with the right's framing of progressive type Democrats? Or I don't see how, Manchin, if he were to come out aggressively for this $3.5 trillion bill, how that in any way would harm him in West Virginia,
No, I completely, on this particular bill, I totally agree with you. I think it's less about, I do think that, I mean, the problem would be if AOC beats Manchin in a primary, AOC loses in the general. So it's really problems that would exist in the general. I do think it's possible for a sort of working class type guy. Like, for example, Tim Ryan from Ohio, who's a member of Congress, he's quite left, but he has kind of like the working class, middle class creds with regard to his whole approach. That's the type of guy that if he were to primary, and he doesn't live in West Virginia, and this is just a hypothetical, Tim Ryan's someone I could see maybe winning an election in West Virginia at the state Senate level, but I'm not even sure. It's a tough question. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, David. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much for the call. It's a good question, important to understand the dynamics there. I mean, very, very important.